On this episode of Street Rag Garage, it's time for part 3 of the 1969 Chevelle Hot Rod Power Tour build. Maybe we make some noise this time. So I've decided, after 28 years, this car deserves to go on Hot Rod Power Tour. So we're going to do everything that we can. Actually, we're taking it on Hot Rod Power Tour. One way or the other, we're just taking it. So I'm going to get this down on the ground. We're going to flip it around. And it's time to finally install the engine. Okay, it's back down on the ground. I got the tires aired up. Let's go over a few things that I did off camera to get this ready. Okay, not a whole lot of things, but we did get the engine mounts put in. I got the other wheel well put in, and everything's painted, you know, all touched up and all that other good stuff. I didn't get the heater core blocked off like I wanted to yet. Finished up on the brakes on the front. I installed the steering shaft there, so that's all put in. Got some of the wiring out of the way, cleaned up a little bit here and there. Let's see, we got the steering wheel so we can actually steer it now. What else did I do? Took the center console out, just unbolted that, and it just came out. It wasn't hooked up, it was just in there for looks. It did absolutely nothing. This was a column shift car, and for some reason somebody put these aren't even the right seats. These are buckets out of like an older Chevelle. They should have headrests on them, and that definitely wasn't the right center console. So, and cleaned it up a little bit, vacuumed it out, so we could see all the nice holes that we have a lot better. So still got to do something about that, but that's the least of our worries. At least we can get in here and get some stuff accomplished. So now we got to get it turned around. So it's just sitting here with a block under it, and as soon as I remove that and push on it a little bit, it's gonna go downhill. So we did just do the brakes on it, so we should have brakes. And I'll just spin it around, push it back up facing the garage, and then we'll start putting the engine in. So this is just sitting here, and it's just hung up a little bit on the back by our little bump on our driveway. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little push, and if all goes well, it'll actually stop. Okay, here we go. Brake test number 1. All right, I really didn't need the brakes, but I did push on them a little bit and they work. So I'm gonna get the truck and we're gonna push it right up in the driveway. I have also been putting together this transmission and the stall converter and just getting this all prepped up. I got the engine mounts on here, so I put the frame mounts there, had to get the engine mounts put on here so everything matches up. Transmission bolted together, stall converter bolted on, and make sure everything's turning. So we got the car outside. Let's get this up in the air and get the car pushed under. I have it up in the air here, and just notice I didn't have the starter put on, so it wouldn't be that hard to put it on in the car. But since it's right here, we might as well just go ahead and toss it on in. Now this is the one that came off of the engine, and I have tested it in the past. I haven't tested it recently, but should still be good. I have one of those high torque mini starters around here somewhere, but then I'd have to look for it. Who knows where that's at. So this ought to be good enough. This is not a high compression engine by any means. It's completely stock except for the intake and the carburetor that we're going to put on. So there we go. That should make installation a little bit easier, unless the starter gets hung up on the cross member. Then we have to take it all off again. And one more thing I'm going to do is take this bottom pulley off, because I have another pulley that I'm going to put on there. Plus this is the long pulley, and sometimes it gets hung up on the core support when you're dropping it in, so this might make it a little bit easier to go in, and then we'll put our aluminum pulley on there once we get it dropped in. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. We got to get our car pushed in underneath our engine, and of course I have no help because it's the middle of the day and normal people have to work, so I'm going to do it all by myself because that's what I do. Get her pushed up in here, hopefully it clears, run back and forth about 5 or 6 times, and then we'll get it dropped in. Well, that wasn't scary at all, was it? Wow. How come you didn't tell me I was getting so close? We're actually lined up pretty good. It needs to come this way about 8 inches, a foot. And then she should slide into place. Alright, that is much better. If you go out and buy you a engine hoist, cherry picker, whatever you want to call it, make sure to get the ones that have 4 swivel casters on it so you can just slide it sideways. Makes it much easier than back and forth and all that weird stuff. So, okay, this is the moment. Let's start sliding this in. Here she goes. First time in, what did I say, 37 years? Engine going in. All right. I need to pick up or push down on this while moving the engine hoist down, so that kind of requires 2 people, but if you do it little by little, turn it, push it, turn it, push it, probably going to scratch a little bit on the firewall. Maybe we can put a towel around that, keep that from happening. But these are the obstacles you have to get over when doing it by yourself. Okay, I got a shop cowl down there, so I'm just going to lower it until it touches a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to have to come down here and push her back a little bit. Give her a little bit of tilt. Bring her in here. And we got to run back over here. Give her another inch. And transmission fluid's starting to run out the tail shaft. So we're going to make a mess. Then run back over here. Yep, getting transmission fluid everywhere. Push her down, bring her in. Okay, there she's below the tunnel. She's starting to go in now. Man, that's making a mess. Oh well, that's why we have oil dry. Put her down some more. Almost there. That's fine. Not hurting anything important. Just a little bit more. I'm glad I took that front pulley off. Definitely would not have made it. Barely making it with balancer. It'd be nice if the balancer was off too. Nope. Forward a little bit. Boom. Now we're making progress. Alright. Almost there. It should move forward or backwards while we drop it down. Come on, land into place. Ah, so close. Okay, so here's what I was talking about, leaving the starter on. It's 2 inches up too far, and got a little scratch on our frame, which is no big deal because we really don't care. But I think I can push it backwards just a little bit more, and that should clear. So let's shove her back a little bit. So close. There. Oh, there goes the starter in. So we got our starter in, and we're just a couple inches, 1 inch from putting that engine mount in. Now this side's a bit off, but if we can get one of those hooked, then we can just swing the engine around and get the other one in there. So down a little bit more, and starting to rest on that one engine mount. We're gonna have to do some wrestling. Okay, I got one side pretty much lined up. I can drop it down, then hopefully I can just swing the whole engine around and get it dropped in the other side. I think I'm going to try to rehook it and just pick up this half of the engine, and maybe that'll help it go where I want it. That way I can move this engine hoist back just a little bit and have a little bit more room. Come on, get in there. Talk about falling into place. It's not pretty, but it worked. Well, it's in there. I might have broken the starter cap against the firewall, but it's in there. And there she is. See, I got a little close on the distributor cap. Touched the firewall right there, but looks like it's still in okay shape. Now, I'm going to get the cross member in, get it setting up, and then we can start hooking things up. Now that the engine is in place, it is time to start bolting stuff to it. And we're going to start off with the headers because they are always a pain. And yep, going to have to go up from the bottom. So it's probably a good thing I didn't bolt these on first because they look like they would have got stuck trying to put the engine in. Alright, I got the header put on, had to bring it up from the bottom, jack the car up, all that fun stuff. And I went ahead and put the passenger side on, which, you know, just slip right in, no problems. Maybe if I hadn't put the steering column in, it would have slipped in there a lot easier, but I needed to steer the car in order to get it in the garage, so we had to do that. No big deal, slips in, it's on. And now on to the next thing, which is some accessories on the front. So I got this aluminum pulley, and we have a couple others off another engine that we have. You know, make it look a little bit better than what it does. I'm going to change out these valve covers too. They're all rusty and nasty, been on there for many years. They're just a cheap chrome plated ones. So get rid of that, put some aluminums on that, put some aluminum pulleys, a new water pump, all that other fun stuff on there. Get it looking decent. I mean, it's okay to look nice, look nasty on the outside, but on the inside, let's make it look nice. Well, a few hours later, we got it wired up, spark plugs in, distributor, had to change the distributor cap, and this one's still not the best shape. Wired up, makeshift for now, wired up our coil. This is our coil wire. This is our starter wire. We put on our battery terminals. Let's see, this goes to the HEI distributor, which, you know, you only need one. That's a good thing about an HEI. Don't need all that goodness, all that craziness. Got our carburetor all bolted down. Primed the bowls, so we got fuel in the bowls. Now it's time to give it a try. We don't have much battery at all. I got the jump pack hooked up to it, and this is going to be our first try. So cross our fingers. Okay, well, so far we have absolutely nothing, and our ground's starting to get a little hot, so we don't have a good ground. Let's see. Hold that thought one moment. Let's hit it with a little bit of gasoline. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, well, hopefully it doesn't erupt into a fireball. Where'd my starter wire go? Right here. Now we're running out of battery. And I don't think we're getting spark because we didn't hook up with a distributor. We changed the cap, and there's a wire that goes from the pickup to the cap, and we did not bother to hook that up. So we're brilliant. Okay, what happens when you get tired? You start messing up. Okay. Now we're going to have power to the distributor, and hopefully we did not put too much gasoline in there. But let's grab a few towels and a little bit of water in case we have to. There's water. Yeah, that's water. Smother any flames. Okay. Let's make noise. Yeah, that is too much. Too much. Oh, a little retard. No, that wasn't retard. That was a Vance. My bad. A little retard there. And there you have it. We're running. 28 years, she started. Even though, you know, the engine's just sort of sitting in there. But it's a win. I want to hear it again. No accelerator pump, I don't think. That could be a problem. A little more down there. Let's hit it again. See if we got anything. Yeah, we're not getting anything through the carb. again. And yep, we got oil pressure. Okay, we got oil pressure. Looks like we got a little blow by though. Okay, I would say that's a successful day. So let's cut it off for tonight. We'll get back into it in the morning, and maybe we can make it move next time. That would be nice. So see you in the morning. And it's the next day. Today our goal is to get it to move. If we can get the drive shaft in, if we're using the right drive shaft. This car was a 2-speed Power Glide. Now I do not know if they have the same length drive shaft or not, so let's go ahead and get underneath this thing, grab the old drive shaft, and see if we are at least close to hooking this thing back up. Now this is our drive shaft for our car, and it's been sitting out of the car for 30 whatever years too. So before we go slipping it back in, we're going to wire brush the end. I'm not even sure this is the right yoke for the transmission, but I don't want to tear up the steel trying to put it in there with all this rust and junk that's on there. So we're just going to wire brush it down real quick. This car originally had the 2-speed transmission in it, so I do not know if the 350 transmission is the same input shaft or length as the Turbo 350, which is what we have in there now. So let's clean this up, put a little lube on it, and slide her on in there. We're underneath the car, and what we want to do is to find out if this end slips into that end down there, which yeah, yes it does. So it doesn't slip very good. I tried to clean up the inside of the threads there. I'm not sure if that I got it all, but that's, at least it slips over the transmission yoke there. So I'm gonna have to pull back here a little bit and push in. It seems to be okay. Now we need to know, oh man, it's getting stuck in there. I'm gonna have to clean up the inside of that yoke a little bit more, but right now we need to know if the back end will slide in as well. So if that all works out, we will be good to go, and I believe it will. It's a little close there, but we have like we have about a 1.5 inches on the other side, so it should slide right on in there. Okay, I pulled it back and slid it in a little bit more, and you can see we're good to go. All we have to do is replace that U-joint, and we have our drive shaft. So that's one more step to getting her moving. And we're back underneath the car, and as you can see, I hammered in the new U-joint and slipped the drive shaft in there. It fits just fine. We cleaned everything up, and the drive shaft's ready to go. I pushed the car back outside here. As you can see, I'm going to try to fit some tires, at least on the back. I have 10-inch tires here, but I think they're going to be a little bit too wide. But I did buy some air shocks here, so if they're close, we can just add the air shocks on the road or something. But we're just about ready to go here. So put the radiator in, hooked everything up. We're gonna have to run off the boat tank for right now. We're gonna have to drop the gas tank and run some lines. All the lines are rotted up. We don't know what's inside the gas tank, so that may be a problem. But for right now, the car does start and it will run on its own. That carburetor may be a little too big. I'm gonna take another carburetor with me as well. But we're not going to be able to drive this down to Georgia. That would be insane. So this is the plan. We're going to go ahead and load it up on the trailer. We're going to take it to Georgia, start out in Atlanta. We're going to do the whole power tour. We're going to trailer the car, but we're going to work on it as we go. So hopefully by the end of the power tour, we will have a functioning vehicle. I mean, it starts and we should be able to load it on the trailer, but that's about all we can do right now. So we'll get there, we'll unload it, we'll work on it, and hopefully maybe we can drive it a little bit on power tour once we get there. So yeah, that's it. So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Street Ride Garage. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll post as many videos as I can while we're on power tour. I don't know if I can do it every day, but we will try. So until next time.